Yorkshire. For the home team this afternoon, Sydney United. In goal, number 1, Adam Pavlicic. 3, Bailey Rule. 4, Adrian Vlastelica. 8, Tomoki Wada. 10, Carlos de Oliveira. 16, Anthony Krilic. 17, Michael Glasic. 19, Michael Kislovich. 21, Koya Nakano. 23, Mason Wells. And number 44, Farah Coco. On the bench for Sydney United this afternoon, at number 5, Anthony Tomilich. 12, Gabriel Tillo. 14, Liam McGinn. 15, Adrian Knez. 22, Nicholas Patezina. 41, Adrian Jamie Buzina. And number 47, Christian Ladieri. And of course, Sydney United, the undefeated Sydney United, are coached by Miro Vlastelica. Ladies and gentlemen, Sydney United here again going for another victory. Undefeated with 10 wins and 1 draw this season on 31 points. And so let's hope for another big win this afternoon. And the boys will be led out by the under-9. So please give them a big applause when they come out.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Sydney United Sports Centre. It's NPL Men's New South Wales and round 12 today. The undefeated Sydney United 58 looking to continue their strong start to the 2026 campaign as they host the Wollongong Wolves, who themselves bring a 6-game unbeaten run into this particular fixture. They have met in the Cup once already this season, and it was a 3-0 win on that occasion to Sydney United in a midweek game only recently this month. So the form line definitely tilts in Sydney United's favour, but Wollongong have been making some statements around the NPL over the last month or so, and they are winning respect with every improved result. to the strains of the FIFA anthem. Both teams out on the pitch. It's Sydney United in their home red kit with white shorts and blue socks, and the Wollongong Wolves are in all white this afternoon. Handshakes out in the middle for the two captains, Lockie Scott and Adrian Vlastelica. Today's officiating crew is headed by Jake Rose with assistant referees Patrick Pike and Tom Selden, and Wael Arabi is the fourth official. Let's get to the lineups for both teams then. Sydney United 58, Adam Pavlicic in goal. Bailey rule number 3. 4, Adrian Vlastelica. 5, Tomoki Wada. 10, Carlos de Oliveira. 16, Anthony Krilic. 17, Michael Glasic. 19, Michael Krislovic. 21, Koya Nakano. 23, Mason Wells. And 44 is Farah Coco. For the Wollongong Wolves, goalkeeper Daniel Solski, 4 Dylan Ryan, 5 Benry Kanazumi, 8 Sebastian Duarte, 10 Flynn Madden, 11 Sebastian Hernandez, 13 Tate Russell, 16 Lucas Trajewski, 17 Marcus Beattie, 18 Kazuya Yamamura, and 24 Lachlan Scotts. And as the music fades, we're not far away from kicking off here then. It is going to be Michael Krislovic and Sydney United to kick off attacking the right of your screens in the first half. Temperature in the low 20s. Perfect weather for NPL football. And we're underway at the Sydney United Sports Centre as the home side look to make it 12 in a row undefeated, and visiting Wollongong try to make it 7 in a row undefeated. Early touch here for Mason Wells. Great little sidestep. And he advances to the edge of the box and squares it to Carlos de Oliveira. He lashes a shot, and it's blocked away by the defender, Sebastian Duarte. Healthy crowd on the hill. A little bit sparse around the rest of the ground, but hopefully a crowd of up to 1,000 today here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. Bouncing down into the attacking half for Wollongong. Trying to find a way to run through. Sebastian Hernandez. Referee's blown the whistle for a goal kick. Throwing it right back here, earned by Bailey Rule. Quick to take the throw in. And touched out to Moki Wada. Not able to bring the ball under his control. Here's Carlos de Oliveira. Mason Wells. Back to de Oliveira. Ball across the pitch and out. Farah Coco now. Looking to break down the left side. Possession given away. Marcus Beattie back to his centre-back pairing. Henry Kanazumi. And next to him is Dylan Ryan. Dylan Ryan with a long ball over the head of Lockie Scott. First goal going to be so important here for Wollongong. They have not been prolific scorers this season, but they've just started to find a goal-scoring touch over the last month. Sydney United's defence has been very enviable this campaign. Being able to dictate games by taking the lead in so many of them. Down the left flank. Lucas Krajewski against Bailey Rule. Cycles the ball back. Sebastian Duarte. And his attempt to loft a cross into the box is blocked by Carlos de Oliveira. Switch over to the right side of the box. And a shot on a tight angle from Sebastian Hernandez. Always going to be difficult to beat the keeper from that distance and angle. And he skied it out over the bar. Cleared from right back. Mason Wells. Now Dylan Ryan. Scott with a flick on. Cleared from the centre of defence by Adrian Vlastelica. And as far as Tate Russell. De Oliveira. Wada. He'll step over to play the ball back to De Oliveira. And he collapses in midfield, trying to convince the referee of a foul committed by Tate Russell, but the referee took no interest there. Russell is standing at right back. And here he is on the ball now. Battle of the coaches. Luke Wiltshire for the Wollongong Wolves. Miro Vlastelica for Sydney United. Scott trying to lead the line here. Flynn Madden buzzing around. Now Marcus Beattie. And his pass is intercepted by Mason Wells. To Mokiwada. Not much ahead of the ball going for him. He waits for Farakoko and now tries to set him away. Well, the runners had to break very quickly to get out in front of Tomokiwada there. Coco. Resets with Vlastelica. And now through the left, Krislovic is not going to be able to chase that down. Daniel Solski quick to circulate the ball back to Dylan Ryan. And now Sebastian Duarte. Well, Wollongong are taking possession of the ball and Sydney United seemingly happy to let them have it at the moment. No real hunger for the press as the defence strokes it among themselves. Now they get interested. And here comes Krislovic pressing up on Ryan. And Ryan slices the ball out. So even just the slightest application of pressure, able to force an errant pass. Krislovic with a good flick header on. It's running down to the corner where Ryan leads Wada to the ball, and on the synthetic surface it is firm and dry enough to run out for a goal kick. It's a warm late April day here, and in the direct sunlight on the synthetic it might feel a bit warmer than the otherwise temperate. Perfect conditions for the spectators here at the King Tom, and I've got to say the crowd has come down perhaps from the actual bistro itself to enjoy the football, because the crowd has really swelled since kickoff. I'd suggest almost doubling in size, and we probably do now have 1,000 here, which is great to see. Fans voting with their feet, coming out for the NPL. Diagonal ball here though from Vlasic, can't meet its target. Wollongong want to go quickly here. Can they exploit the space? Sebastian Hernandez. An aggressive touch out in front. Vlastelica comes across. Hernandez, and the clearance comes from Anthony Krilic. Might have been rolling out for a goal kick regardless, but Krilic not taking any risks. Energetic defending from Koya Nakano. Long ball from Coco. Krislovic can't take the ball in stride, and so The throw-in is coming the way of Wollongong.
Concerns here for Duarte. He got caught in possession, and as Mason Wells picked his pocket, his attempts to avoid a breakaway here has resulted in a foul. We'll be about to see an early card. Only in the 9th minute of the game, and the referee's decided just a free kick, no booking. Big call early in the match. The protests aren't too long-lived by the players. Lasalitza restarts play, looking for Wells. And Duarte nicks it off his toes, but at the expense of conceding a corner kick. So, first corner of the game coming up for Sydney United. Mason Wells and his left foot, always a threat in this situation. Wells strikes the corner to the back post, and it's all Wollongong. Goalkeeper was interfered with regardless, and it's a free kick to the Wolves. So 10 minutes ticked by and scoreless at the Sydney United Sports Centre. Today, one of many games going on around NPL men's at New South Wales. Sydney United are set clear at the top of the league for now, but Wollongong know that any sort of slip-up could leave them vulnerable to a potential tumble down the table. We're the early kick-off here. We've got 4 matches at 3 p.m. and then another at 4:30 later this afternoon. Sydney United, as things stand, 4 points clear at the top of the league on the live table from Marconi, who have already banked a 4-1 win earlier this weekend, getting the job done against Manly United last night. And Wollongong have risen all the way to 4th on 21 points at the moment. They can't go any higher if they win today, but they can be caught by Rockdale, and Northwest Sydney Spirit can draw to within 1 point of them if they do lose this afternoon. So they are vulnerable to either being leapfrogged or having their little gap closed. Here's an aggressive diagonal ball coming from Lucas Trajewski. Over to Hernandez. Hernandez breaks to the byline, fashions across, and the opening goal for Lockie Scots. Great centre-forward play from the captain of the Wollongong Wolves. And Sydney United face a challenge at home. Hernandez puts it on the head of Scott, and it's 1-0 to the Wollongong Wolves.
24, Lachlan Scott, Wollongong 1, lead Sydney United 0.
And so we're in the cup tie. Earlier this month it was a 3-0 win for Sydney United. Today, their defence, something to play with here. It is only early days. And now, Sydney United feel like we might learn a bit about them today as they face the challenge of going behind with plenty of time to do something about it. Will we see an instant response, or the patient build-up continue from the home side? Ball bouncing along down to Solski here. Fourth goal of the season for Lockie Scott, so the expectations on him to lead the line are being met. Wada out to the left, and just a little long for Coco to advance onto the ball. Dylan Ryan.
hustle there for Lucas Trachevsky. And now Beattie, diagonal ball. Hernandez is stretching the defence here. He advances on goal, and a good one-on-one save from Pavlicic. And that really could have been 2-0 to the Wollongong Wolves. And Seb Hernandez is causing some real issues over on that right attacking flank for Wollongong. Here's Kazuya Yamamura playing the ball to the goal scorer Scott. He can't find it back to a teammate though. The possession is given away. Kanazumi. And now Yamamura is dispossessed by his fellow Japanese national Koya Nakano. Wollongong have possession right in front of the Sydney United hill. Dylan Ryan taking the game on. The centre-back advancing. Turn from Flynn Madden. He's able to trap the ball, and Vlastelic doesn't let him advance any further. Crit the ball in the air. Krislovic broke the other way. Solski, got to be careful here. Krislovic pressing all the way. It does deflect out for a goal kick, but there's an element of risk if you're getting run down by the striker. Scott, great hold-up play. Lays it off to Beattie. Sweeps it over to the left. Duarte. Yamamura, now to Flynn Madden. Here's Marcus Beattie. He's going to shoot from distance and puts it into the number on the back of Adrian Vlastelica. Carlos de Oliveira and Mason Wells. That's such a bright start to the game in the first 5 minutes, Wells. Can United find him in an attacking position here? A great pass to release him. Mason Wells, right-footed cross, and cleared away by Ryan. Wells, back to Rule. Wada. Bailey Rule's continued his run here. Bailey Rule hooks it back, and a good defensive header to keep the ball away from Farakoko. Tate Russell was crucial there. Farakoko waiting at the back post, but the ball never arrived, thanks to the header of Tate Russell. Sydney United just upping the ball speed here, trying to work through the gears. Farakoko has got support with him, and he lays it off now. The cutback is behind Krislovic, and it's disappointment for Anthony Krilic. Nearly linked up perfectly there with his big number 9, and instead the opportunity is missed. So cleared out of the Wollongong defence by Kanazumi. And now Yamamura. Vlasic leans into a header. Flynn Madden and Carlos de Oliveira not able to disguise a shove in the back, and he's saying to the referee, how about giving me some protection when I'm fouled myself? But play continues. Duarte. And now Duarte, Madden, Tate Russell, and his pass intercepted. Krilic can start a counter-attack here. Bides his time. Wada calls for the ball in the middle, and that's where it's going. Tomoki Wada. Over to Mason Wells. Brings the ball down and jigs left. Trademark Mason Wells, and he can't quite beat the keeper. Well, it looks promising, but just didn't have the power. He had the direction. A bending left-footed shot, but moving at a speed that Daniel Solski could come over and catch. Flynn Madden's really coming into the game in the middle of the park now. This midfield battle is fascinating with De Oliveira, the primary playmaker for Sydney United, and Flynn Madden playing something of a number 10 role. Lucky Scott, the roaming target man, and then a really dedicated right winger in the form of Seb Hernandez. Vlastelica, Krislovic, Coco, Wada, now De Oliveira. Finds Wells, Wada, Bailey Rule. Will the ball sit for him? It's saved by Solski. He was right against the keeper. Not much leverage for the backswing on the foot. And now Krilic sends the ball out on the opposite side. Well, Bailey Rule has made cutting runs into the penalty box twice in the last couple of minutes now. He's identifying chances to get forward here. It's a really open attacking game. The early goal has brought both teams out of their shell. Wollongong aren't satisfied with one. Sydney United are turning up the heat in their pursuit of an equaliser. Solski from the last line. Wells. Through comes Duarte. Trajewski goes to ground. Wells kept his feet. De Oliveira. Nakano. And now Coco. Farrakoko attempting a through ball. Dylan Ryan clears from the centre of defence. Finds his outlet pass in Scott. And Glassick has fouled him here. Kanazumi goes short with the restart. Russell back to his keeper, Solski. Wada leads the press this time. Solski's not going to dawdle. He clears high and long. Farrakoko. Neat pass from Krilic. The 1-2 with Coco. Krilic blocked, and it's a goal kick. Last touch off the shins of the Sydney United left back. Bit of time being taken over this goal kick here. Sydney United pressing right to the edge of the penalty area now. Flynn Madden out to the right side. Can't find Hernandez. Coco. Wada, or the return pass. Struck shallow, and now Marcus Beattie around the corner. Russell knew that it took a deflection, and so he watches it out for a goal kick. But right now, the territory battle is starting to swing in Sydney United's favour. Wollongong are going to have to be very careful if they're going to live like this in their defensive half for an elongated period of time. Beattie trying to flip the field and get Wollongong into their attacking half. Scott against Vlastelica. Nakano. Krilic to Coco. Nakano does win a throw, but things just slowing down for the home side. Wells brings the ball down, lays it off, hoping for Bailey Rule, and across comes Lucas Trajewski to clear it out for a throw. De Oliveira. Duarte, persistent. Glassick. Kept in by Wells and now cleared along by De Oliveira. Ryan, and then as far as Nakano. Back pass from Krilic, Pavlicic. And now Vlastelica. Krilic is away, up to the halfway line, outside of the foot pass. Krislovic chasing, and across comes Solski, striking the clearance. With Sydney United deep in attack, now Vlastelica has wandered out of his technical area just to get a little bit closer to his attacking penalty box here. He wants a even better than front row view of the action, but his team still can't fashion a shot on goal. Vlasic, Rule. Wada. And that will drift left to right off the side of the foot. He was trying to pick out a teammate, but it just broke the wrong way. Flynn Madden. Beattie, 1-2 with Duarte. Has to sky it high. Plays shielding the rise from the shun. Yamamura brings it down. Beattie curling out to the left side. Krajewski. He's got three defenders around him. Able to wiggle free. Yamamura touched on by Madden. Scott, the ball just landed behind him, but he goes and retrieves it anyway. And now he turns and shoots, and a good diving save. And for a second there, it looked like Pavlicic might have seen it late. But he got down in the nick of time and was able to parry it away. And the ball is cleared. And that is two good shots on target for Wollongong ever since taking the lead in their attempts to go 2-0 up here. Vlastelica. Vlasic. Rule. De Oliveira. Through ball, neatly measured, and Krislovic is denied by Solski, diving at the ball, and eventually it's out for a corner. He took a big risk there, Solski. Could very have easily conceded a penalty, but Krislovic denied by the initial block, and then the athleticism of Solski. Short corner. De Oliveira whips it in and grasped onto again by the goalkeeper. Oh, good attacking spell on that phase of play from Sydney United. Can they keep it going? Wollongong have just started to wrestle back possession, and they were easing the pressure, if anything. Flynn Madden, he can venture forward here. Trajewski. He's got Marcus Beattie on his outside and Madden in the middle, and the ball not trapped by Madden, rolling underneath his touch. Here's Koya Nakano. Krislovic, well, he was onside, but a big block in the middle from Kanazumi, stopping his ball out to the right. Coco. As he tried to play the ball back, it takes a deflection out for a throw-in. De Oliveira. Rule. Wada. Wells, the build-up promising for United. Wada, and now Rule. Mason Wells. Here's Koya Nakano in space. He turns onto his right side, and he's apprehensive to shoot. Now he goes, and as he does, he didn't strike it with any real power. He just scuffed it into the turf, and that accelerated and rolled on in a tumbling fashion down to the goalkeeper. And again, Sydney United are playing the ball around the edge of Wollongong's penalty area, but it's the responsibility of taking the right shot which is evading them at the moment. And Wollongong remaineth De Oliveira. Marcus Beattie harassing and conceding a free kick on this occasion. De Oliveira out of the shadows. Looking for Farakoko on the diagonal. Coco, well, his first touch just let him down there. He wasn't able to keep the ball in. Bailey Rule. Carlos De Oliveira caught in possession. Marcus Beattie wants Lockie Scott, and he's overhit the pass, but Scott is just going to keep it in against the line and thus keep the attack alive. Trajewski. Back he goes, and a weaving, dashing run, and a foul on Sebastian Duarte, given away by Carlos De Oliveira in prime shooting territory here for the Wollongong Wolves. And he just built a head of steam there, Sebastian Duarte, and he accelerated towards De Oliveira, who left a leg hanging and made it a very easy decision for the referee. Well, is Kazuya Yamamura going to be tempted to shoot? It looks as though his Wolves teammates are setting up like he might be trying to put it on one of their heads. Now he curls out. Perfect territory for a right footer this. We know Kazuya Yamamura can strike them from distance. 3 wait in the defensive wall. It's Kazuya Yamamura, and it was promising, but did not dip. Decent shape on the free kick, but ultimately out for a goal kick. Russell's pass. Yamamura just a little flat-footed, but Mason Wells couldn't make him pay. He offered the ball up to Beattie instead. And now Duarte finds Scott. Scott with half a yard. Closed down quickly, though, by Nakano. So he has to turn away. Now to the edge of the box. Yamamura volleying on and scuffed wide. Hernandez. Well, Wollongong threatening again, but Seb Hernandez, who's just faded out of the game over the last 10 minutes or so. He was really dangerous around and then just after Wollongong's goal. Duarte. Early ball. Flynn Madden. Scott. He was trying to steer it back towards Madden, but not the right run from the Wollongong number 10. Bailey Rule. Wada. Rule. Pavlicic calling for a back pass so he can switch flanks. Vlastelica. He still likes the right side. Wells. Duarte up for the header. Beattie has the sit. Yamamura. And backtracking, Nakano takes possession. De Oliveira. Vlasic. Wells. De Oliveira. Now here's Krilic. A low drive. Oh, it's been fumbled by Solski, and Krislovic not able to make the keeper pay. Krislovic gets another chance here, and his pass just a little heavy. Well, a save in the end for Solski, a save he shouldn't have had to make, because if he'd held it the first time, he never would have bobbled it into the path of Michael Krislovic, who himself perhaps should have scored the follow-up once it was gifted to him. Only for Solski to save his blushes and make a point-blank save. And with 10 minutes of regulation until half-time, Sydney United will feel as though they have now done enough to merit level terms in this game, but still they trail 1-0. Madden wants something on the left, but no one's getting forward, so he runs himself straight into Bailey Rule with a stand-up challenge. Wells starting in his defensive half. Vlastelica, Wada. Wada's ball over to Rule. Keeps it in against the line. Rule's got to go here. Duarte just had the angles covered. Oh, he's had his pocket picked. The cutback. Oh, that was, well, again, an error by Wollongong, answered by an error from Sydney United. Wollongong are making mistakes. They are leaving the door open, and Sydney United can't walk through it at the moment. Well, Duarte would have been absolutely heart and mouth as he lost possession there, only for Krislovic to bail him out by slipping over when it was time to take a lash at the cutback. And a let-off for the Wolves. Nakano. Big side swipe at a pass, but Duarte this time, nice and safe. There's the ball out for a throw in. Vlasic. Rule. Vlasic finds Wells. Wells, through ball for Bailey Rule. Rule. Oh, he took an extra touch, and then Kanazumi was able to block it away. The chances keep coming for Sydney United, but they might get stung on the counter here. Madden, now Scott. He's got Hernandez over on the right. Hernandez with a cross. Scott again! This time no power behind it. It was sliding across the face. And Pavlicic able to dive on the ball and immediately roll it out to right back. Trachevsky, De Oliveira wins the ball back. Krislovic tries to knock it to his own advantage. Takes on Dylan Ryan. Krislovic down on the right flank. Mason Wells. Wada and Wells into space. Fashions a cross, but no one at the back post. Wada was trying to get there, but the cross was well beyond his run. And out it is cleared. Wollongong will be doing well if they can make it to half-time with this lead intact. Sydney United are really coming at them here. Nakano. De Oliveira in the pocket. Carlos De Oliveira with a drive. And Solski saves it out for a corner kick. It might have been going wide. Solski wasn't to know. He got down next to his left-hand post and tipped it around and out for a corner kick. Mason Wells will go over to take again. Here's Wells' corner. Takes it short. Rule, oh, he's played it behind De Oliveira. Vlastelica. Wells. And he slices it out. And he loves his left foot, Mason Wells. We've seen him play with his right foot quite a few times in the game successfully, but that one a letdown. And that will take us to 5 minutes of regulation time to go in the first half. Solskjaer taking a very long time over the goal kick here. Recognising that it's Sydney United on top. Beattie running down the left sideline. Chops it on. Pavlicic. Over the head of Coco, but he's going to try and break away here. Tate Russell goes to ground, and the referee does see a foul. Russell did enough to convince the referee it was a free kick. Wells, De Oliveira, Wada, and now Coco. Farrakoko cuts onto his right, shoots, and saved. All the fans were going up to Coco. Nearly wrong-footed Solskjaer, but he adjusted in the nick of time to clasp onto the save. Sydney United saying, give us a corner. Solskjaer's held onto the ball for too long. Now he goes with a long clearance. Krislovic chasing. Wells breaking into the middle. Krislovic cuts past Kanazumi. A deflected pass. Wells saved. Solskjaer at close range. Well, it was an accidental through ball, really, but it nearly worked out beautifully. Scott. And cleared away by Vlastelica. Well, with every minute that passes, there is another Sydney United chance created. Wollongong are treating this like it's the last minutes of the game rather than the last minutes of the first half. They are just trying to milk the clock and take as much sting out of Sydney United as possible. Yamamura, Scott, crossfield pass was ambitious. Krilic intercepts. Vlastelica. Only as far as Russell. Block tackle by Krislovic. Able to spill the ball. Coco. Now to Mokiwada. De Oliveira, heavy touch. Ryan able to clear as a result. Scott being guarded by Glassick. Rule. Wells. Wells whips it in, and that's catching practice. And far more comfortable by comparison to some of the recent saves that Solskjaer has had to make. Long ball here, Hernandez not able to get an angle as Krilic comes over to intercept. Now Glassick, back to Pavlicic. Long ball from Vlastelica, and out comes Solskjaer. And he's not going to pick the ball up here. He's going to waste every second available. The game management of Wollongong here, if they get to half-time, will be a big, big tick for them. They've only kept 2 clean sheets in their 11 games so far this season, 12 if you include losing to Sydney United in the Cup. Russell. Hernandez. Yamamura knowing how to win a throw in. Yamamura. Back to Russell. Trachevsky left the pass a little short. To Oliveira. Now Wada. Only Krislovic to aim for. And Kanazumi battling Krislovic. And the free kick does come for a little ankle tap. Fine margins though. Krislovic nearly able to steal it away. And that has taken us 30 seconds into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Again, Solskis takes his time setting out the ball. Driving it down onto the head of Scott. Rule. And 1 minute of stoppage time is all. So are we about to see the last unbeaten team standing toppled halfway through this NPL Men's New South Wales game? And it is the visitors, Wollongong Wolves, with the only goal of the game from Lachlan Scott. It came early. Sydney United did more than enough to find an equaliser, but a combination of Daniel Solski's saves and just a few slips and misses at key moments means that they have not hit the back of the net today, not for a lack of trying. And if we see 45 more minutes of this, it'll be an interesting second half. As the music fires up, we will be back for the second half soon. Half-time in Sydney United 58-0. Australia Wollongong Wolves 1. So as the music fades, we're not far away from kicking off the second half here at the Sydney United Sports Centre. It's visiting Wollongong Wolves, enjoying a 1-0 lead. And as we get back underway with Wollongong attacking the right of your screens, are we on the verge of seeing the last unbeaten team toppled in season 2026? Lachlan Scott with the only goal of the game in the first half, and Sydney United a wealth of chances created, but just couldn't hit the back of the net before the halftime break. Will things change in the second 45? Wollongong are going to take the initiative early in the half here. Duarte cross is launched away off the head of Krilic. And now Wells, who was at the heart of a lot of creativity for Sydney United in the first half. Long ball here. He complains that he was fouled as he played that long ball. And across comes Tate Russell to consolidate and send the ball back to his goalkeeper, Daniel Solski, who can lay claim to being the man of the match so far with some of the saves that he had to pull off. Wollongong recognised the danger, and the last 10 minutes of the first half were a bit of an exercise in game management and at times flat-out time wasting, so it'll be interesting to see if they have to resort to such tactics a long way from home here in the second. Here's Krilic looking for Coco. Cleared by Marcus Beattie. Vlastelica. Koyanakano. And now Krilic, Coco, offside. And the offside flag is the last thing that Sydney United will want to see as they try to create an equalising chance. If they can score here, there is now a decent crowd that has built up over the course of the afternoon that'll be roaring them on to try and come back and complete a win. But they need to find a way through first, and they know they can do it. They did win the cup tie between these two teams earlier this month in a midweek game, 3-0. It's a different Wollongong on the weekends in recent times, though. Here's Duarte. Back to Trachevsky. He finds Kanazumi. Scott holding the ball up. Can't find Flynn Madden, though. Vlastelica. Coco. Farah Coco sending a lateral ball over to Bailey Rule. Mason Wells. Back to Carlos de Oliveira. Here's Vlasic. Rule. Tomoki Wada. And a safe back pass from Kazuya Yamamura to his goalkeeper, and Solski is able to clear away. Wada. Half-hearted shouts for handball against Trachevsky, waved away by the referee. And the ball is headed out for a Wollongong throw. So Sydney United trying to get a bit of tempo back to their play. The chances were coming with great frequency at the end of the first half. So if they can click into gear soon, they will back themselves for a come-from-behind win today. Here's Koya Nakano. Now Farah Coco. Stand-up challenge from Russell. Nakano. Here's Flynn Madden. And Vlastelica, well, he thought he'd committed the foul, but no, it was behind play. It was Krilic who was in a tangle with Sebastian Hernandez, and that's where the free kick has come from. So a decent chance here for Wollongong at a set piece. Flynn Madden has a line of attackers to aim for here. Some players will still need to shield their eyes from the sun setting over the back of the blocker stand as they look towards the camera position. Madden feigned for the short free kick to Tate Russell. But now he goes delivery. Out swinging free kick, but still, well, that should have been goalkeeper's ball. Pavlicic argues he didn't touch it, but the referee disagrees, and a corner kick is given. So a little bonus here for the Wollongong Wolves. It wasn't the greatest free kick, but it has been turned into a corner. And Madden will now run over to the opposite side of the pitch to take this corner kick here. Scott, Kanazumi, Yamamoto, the obvious targets to aim for. It's an in-swinger, and it beats all and sundry. Oh, at the back post, Kanazumi lashed a volley, and he put it into the side netting. Well, it got over everyone in the air, but Henry Kanazumi had snuck out the back. Krilic. Kanazumi loops the clearance very high. Koko brings the ball down to the advantage of Krislovic. And now Tomoki Wada. Wada, diagonal ball. Mason Wells, he's going to strike it on the volley. He was offside. And he sliced it away regardless, but it wouldn't have counted. Solski run up the middle. Madden flies off the chest of Scott. Madden wanted Hernandez, but Krilic guarding the left back corner. And now he drives it away. Krislovic. And the ball won back by Duarte. Yamamura. Beattie. Who will be first to act in terms of substitutions? The clock has ticked up to the 53rd minute now. Russell. Yamamura very casually flicks the ball on, but he finds Madden. And he now sends it left. Duarte nicks inside. Playing off Scott. And Vlasic gets in to stop Trajewski having a clean run at the ball. So Wollongong are starting to construct some attacks and build their way into this second half. If they go 2-0 up, then word will be out that Sydney United are in trouble. De Oliveira to Rule. Wada. Well, at times, it hasn't quite been Tomoki Wada's day. Yamamura. Scott. Yamamura just lunges and knocks the ball on. Here's a volley from Madden. And it just kept bending wide rights. But Wollongong are enjoying a prolonged period down at their attacking end. They didn't have this sort of spell in the first half. They spent so much of it defending. These are encouraging signs for the visiting team. Marcus Beattie. The ball pitches and now Beattie. Scott. Madden. Can't find a way through. Kanazumi with a high clearance. Vlastelica. Yamamura. He's really coming into the game, Kazuya Yamamura. And he watches Hernandez drive across here. It's going to bend along the line. Trajewski's going to keep it in. Back to Duarte. Marcus Beattie. Trajewski able to turn and face. Madden. cleared away in the nick of time by Nakano, but Wollongong are really starting to show their best here. I think we feel as though they are closing in on doubling their lead. So Flynn Madden has another corner kick. Can he get the set-piece delivery spot on here? 10 minutes into the second half, Wollongong on top. Big pack of players congregated at the near post. And another at the edge of the box. They descend on the penalty area now. And Madden just provides catching practice to Pavlicic. Overarm throw. Wells. Wada. Back to De Oliveira. Diagonal ball intercepted and cleared away by Madden. Here's Vlastelica. Wells. Wada. Coco doesn't want to lose the ball in the sun as he faces West. He brings it down. Bailey Rule. Nakano. And now Wada. He's inside the penalty area, and a little nibble had there by Jake Trajewski, and the Hill got as interested as anyone. More so than perhaps some of the players. Parochial home crowd hoping to cheer their team back into the game. And the result is a corner kick. Mason Wells wraps his left foot around the corner. Good header away by Kazuya Yamamura. Wells pops it into the box, but Solski chests it down. Ryan's pass deflected to Farakoko. It's going to fall and blazing away. De Oliveira saw the shooting avenue and took it. And he just kept driving it high over the bar. Dylan Ryan. Coco prods a pass. Yamamura. Madden lets the ball run on and sends it to the right. Hernandez. Jinks inside. Wells, good challenge. Came back and won the ball. Hernandez lunges in though. Scott helps him out. And now Hernandez. He's got Madden over on the left. Oh, and Marcus Beattie as well. Hernandez pleading for a foul. No decision given, and now Tate Russell does give away a free kick. Here's Trajewski running at the defence. He engages the defender. Oh, and it needed a save. Pavlicic got a hand to it. It was a tumbling shot. It looked like he'd lost all his momentum as he decelerated. Here's Tate Russell with a drive. Deflected and held onto by Pavlicic again. Oh, two shots in quick succession. Both of them dealt with by the United keeper. But Sydney United now on high alert not to fall 2-0 down here. Wada. Krilic getting forward. Krilic and Solski, a good confident catch. Wollongong wins away to Sydney United have been rarities, but not totally unfounded since the COVID-affected seasons. They have come here and won in 2024, most recently. And we're starting to talk about these figures as we reach the hour mark here. Yamamura. Scott. Russell. Hernandez. Hernandez, a low cross, and cleared away by De Oliveira. Marcus Beattie was the player lurking. And the ball put 10 rows back into the stands. Kanazumi pushing over Krislovic. Referee says no foul. Play continues. Solski dicing with danger again as Krislovic pressed all the way up. We saw an incident of that in the first half where Solski did actually play it into Krislovic, but he was standing far enough away from his net out wide that it didn't present a danger of deflecting in for a goal. Nakano. Wada, and then volleyed clear by Kanazumi. Wada. Tomoki Wada plays it through. Bailey Rule has stayed forward here. And Dylan Ryan, important one-on-one defending. Farakoko, Krislovic tried to roll his marker. Was he fouled by Kanazumi? The referee again, big exaggerated waving away, but now a free kick in the other direction. And Vlastelica is booked for his foul on Scott. Well, penalty shout at one end, foul and free kick going in the other direction. Dylan Ryan over to Seb Hernandez. Great pass. Now Hernandez tries to get past Krilic, but he's got cover with him. Turns back to Tate Russell. Yamamura. Scott. Ooh, nearly flicking it into the path of Beattie. Scott. Duarte. Duarte drops the shoulder at the edge of the area. Goes to ground. And a free kick given right at the edge of the box. Carlos De Oliveira very aggressively argues his case. But the decision is paid. Right at the paint of the penalty area. So this is a big, big moment here for Wollongong. We saw Kazuya Yamamura strike a free kick from maybe 2 metres further back. Similar sort of angle in the first half. Can he get this either up and down or around the wall here to put it on the goal of Adam Pavlicic? Krislovic joins the wall. Wollongong players arguing the wall isn't far enough back. So here's the free kick. Yamamura to take. is this Wollongong's moment to double their lead. Kazuya Yamamura over the bar. And it gets a very loud Bronx cheer from the Sydney United fans. A lot of anticipation for an underwhelming result. Coco. Well, at the 67-minute mark, Wollongong, are they going to drop anchor a long way from home and sit back on 1-0? They do have some good recent chances. You just wonder, when will they turn to the bench? When will United turn to the bench as they continue to chase the game? Russell. Yamamura. Russell volleying it. Kazuya Yamamura. Now he's got Trajewski breaking away. Unable to advance beyond the challenge of Nakano. The throw-in goes the way of Wollongong. Yamamura running out of space down in the corner. Bailey Rule. Sydney United just need to get a feel for the ball, start knocking it around again, and build towards something, because Wollongong have sapped all their momentum at the moment. Wider from deep in midfield. An outlet pass for Krislovic. And across comes Tate Russell. Good one-on-one defending. Shuts down Krislovic. Now he's looking for a free kick that's not quite there. Hard against the line. Turns it back inside. Marcus Beattie helped him out. Beattie weaving into the attacking half. And Hernandez tried to touch it back to him, unsuccessfully so. Vlastelica. And interception by Kanazumi. Nakano. Kanazumi with a big fly into the back of Mason Wells. And he's had a heavy landing. Sydney United want to take the free kick quickly, and the referee's not going to let them. And that's because the fallen Banri Kanazumi is going to be given a yellow card. So the trainer hasn't been called here. Kanazumi just getting up very slowly. And eventually, the yellow card is shown as Kanazumi is back on his feet. Classic. Rule. Classic. Nakano. Oh, he's almost lost the ball to Lockie Scott, but now his pass gives it away instead. Russell won the ball back. Scott, neat turn. Knows that Hernandez is breaking down the right. Hernandez, what's on in the middle for him? He takes possession. Left-footed prod. Trajewski. Yamamura. Lifts it back in. Chested down by Russell and falling off balance. Lockie Scott there made it a high degree of difficulty for himself and fell out of the way. We're into the last 20 minutes of regulation. Still, neither team has blinked and turned to the bench. Can Sydney United step it up? Bailey Rule finds De Oliveira. Carlos De Oliveira with a shot. Blocked away by Ryan. Rule, De Oliveira, a quick 1-2. Wada, back to De Oliveira, just trying to barge through, but no progress. And here's Ryan. Vlasic challenged in the air. Oh, Beattie. Sorry, I should say Madden doing just enough to play spoiler there. United do have the ball back. Vlastelitz's long ball. Duarte underneath it. Krislovic. Farah Coco. Will it sit for him? Saved by Solski. And the follow-up header is over the bar from Krislovic. Well, sometimes the synthetic surface leaves the bounce just a little high, but Coco able to lash a volley there. And Daniel Solski, who's had all the answers between the sticks, once again made the save, and then, even though it fell kindly to Michael Krislovic, he nodded it over the crossbar. Got a player down. It looks like it is Sebastian Duarte for the Wollongong Wolves. The trainer is out to him. This will all be crucial for stoppage time at the end of the game if this 1-0 scoreline is still the case when we hit the 90-minute mark. So looking at the Wollongong bench, Max Cuniel, their backup goalkeeper, Jude Christie, Felipe D'Agostini, Noah Matthey, Liam Paul, Taj Demito and Dylan King. And for the Sydney United bench, Adrian Jamie Bazina, their backup goalkeeper, Anthony Tomilich, Gabriel Tillo, Lee McGing, Adrian Canez, Nicholas Protezina and Christian Lardieri. None of them have been given the signal to come into the game just yet. The 11s that started the match for John. Madden. Hernandez. Back to Russell. Solski. Out to Ryan. Duarte. Good underlapping run from Trajevski. It's Trajevski with a step over, and he bit off more than he could chew, taking on a defender like Michael Vlasic. De Oliveira from the right flank. Ryan slides, goes to ground, sends the ball out for a throw-in level with the penalty box for Sydney United. Vlasic. Vlastelica. Rule. De Oliveira. And he's entangled immediately by Beattie. Well played, Marcus Beattie, to win the ball back. And now Scott, he's dispossessed by Nakano. So United have possession back straight away. Koya Nakano with a drive, parried by Solski, and he finds safe passage in the form of Duarte, and he just bunts it out towards the touchline. Solski not taking any risks. The penalty area is still in the sun. Only partially in the shadows. Solski did see it all the way. Got his body behind the ball. Marcus Beattie. Well, he's just launched it into Tomoki Wada with a lateral pass. And now Duarte and Rule. Is there going to be more? There is. Oh, just a little shove with the ball live, and then the whistle went for the foul. And then there was just the slightest afters, but I think both teams are well aware that they don't want to run the risk of a red card. And so they separated and calmed things down. Lockie Scott has taken a seat here, and the trainer is out. Tactical discussion continues in earnest on the sideline for Miro Vlastelica. Now, the fourth official is going to need to be very studious as to the amount of stoppage time incurred with these breaks, with the general pace of the game. Both teams are about to unleash subs, so that will be more stoppages as well. Looks like both teams are going to make changes. Gabriel Tillo and Liam McGing are going to be two of the subs here for Sydney United, along with Nicholas Pratejina, seemingly. Scott is walking off under his own steam. The question is, will Wollongong replace him? Luke Wiltshire, who has spent nowhere near as much of the game prowling his technical area as his opposite number has, is now right up to the touchline to congratulate his centre forward on a hard-fought game.
Coming on
but
for
here
Sydney
comes
United, number 12,
McGing and Tillo.
Number 14, Liam McGing. And 22, Nicholas Pratejina.
And Wollongong do make the change. Off comes Scott. And on comes the number 14, Noah Matthew. So fresh faces on for Sydney United 58. Farakoko, one of the players who made way, will stay with play here. Bailey Rule swings it across, and an easy catch for Daniel Solski. Tomoki Wada retrieves the ball, and he's taken the ground with a free kick. Anthony Krilich also made way. Adrian Vlastelica has gone over to left back, with Liam McGing now coming on in centre back, and Michael Glassick standing next to him. Bailey Rule remains at right back here, and he's won a free kick in a potentially dangerous position, almost like a short corner, hard against the byline. The other player who came off was Mason Wells. So just when Sydney United needed a left-footed set-piece taker, he's left the game as part of that triple substitution. So instead it will be Tomoki Wada on his right foot here, instead of Mason Wells looking to whip it in. Could he cut it back? Carlos de Oliveira lurks 10 metres outside the penalty area. Gabriel Tillo, fresh on, does so as well. Can United draw level right here and bring the crowd in for a big finish? Tomoki Wada, it's Carlos de Oliveira. And well, it was almost telegraphed by where de Oliveira set up, but he just hasn't had his shooting boots on today. A lot of his chances have been tight angles, tough distance, or both. And so the score remains 1-0. So confirming the three players that made way were Farakoko, Mason Wells, and also Anthony Krilich as part of that triple sub that has seen Gabriel Tillo, Liam McGing, and Nicholas Pratejina enter the game. Here's Vlastelica flying for the ball. Tillo backtracking. Here's Noah Matthew, the replacement for Lockie Scott. He nodded the ball down, but immediately cleared by McGing. Wada, well, he misses Tillo with the pass. And that takes us to the 80-minute mark of this game. Lockie Scott, the only goal scorer, has now left the field. And his header early in the first half is the difference between the sides still. Yamamura, only as far as Wada. He sets a task for Krislovic. Krislovic. Burst of acceleration from Bailey Rule. It tumbles into the box. Krislovic goes down, and the shot from outside the area from Nakano blocked away. Krislovic has stayed down here. He's favouring his left hamstring. Now he gets up and takes a seat, has a look at the assistant referee who's long gone, and he gets back up. So he looks all right. McGing. Bailey Rule has been one of the main attacking outlets in this second half. Can he find the right cross here? Not in a 1-on-2, he can't. However, possession nearly given away. And Duarte is able to drive it to the sideline up at halfway. Looks like another Wollongong sub is being mooted. Lockie Scott is still limping around the technical area, just sore and worn out after another day as a battering ram leading the Wolves' attack. Here's Vlastelica. Vlasic measures a pass. Not quite for Tillo. However, the back heel here, he's still on potentially. Solski came charging out, but Marcus Beattie made the goalkeeper a moot point and is able to take the ball looking for Matthew. And it's cleared away by Vlasic. Vlastelica with the back pass. And up comes Pavlicic. Flynn Madden still chasing. McGing, Rule back inside to Glassick. It's going to be Dylan King for Wollongong at the next break in play. Vlastelica. Bouncing off the chest of Krislovic. Madden, Beattie. Now Hernandez. The runners are breaking here for Wollongong. Seb Hernandez saved by Pavlicic. He had the angles covered. Hernandez was trying to beat him with a high degree of difficulty there. And now maybe the counter end to end. Nakano's pass taken by Gabriel Tillo. What can the young gun find? He's only fresh off the bench. He plays it to Tomoki Wada. Wada! Didn't catch it with any real venom. And he just offers it up on one bounce to Daniel Solski. It's a save from a shot on target, but it was very gently hit, given the flow that Sydney United were moving with. High rearing bounce off the synthetic. Glassick makes his keeper work, but it's the ball back in Sydney United gloves. McGing. Glassick. Possession given away. So we're going to see the substitution. It appears so. And Sebastian Hernandez, who had the assist back early in the first half, also had a shot on target, which was perhaps more likely for the attacker to score than the keeper to save, and he was denied one-on-one.
Dylan King.
On comes Dylan King. Throw in for Wollongong. Truth be told, they're not even as defensive as they were in the build-up to half-time when they were really under the pump. At the moment, they are still playing rather than sitting deep in a block. 5 minutes of regulation time to go. We know what they're capable of when they really want to drop anchor, though. Diagonal ball. Tillo looks up at two defenders, and those defenders see the ball safely over the line. King's first involvement is to knock it out for a throw-in. Now we've got a player down for Wollongong, and this is just going to antagonise matters even further. The trainer is going to trot all the way over to the outer side. Adam Pavlicic is trying to hurry things up, take charge of the game, and he's saying that the fallen player needs to leave on the outer side. He's got to be careful he doesn't get himself booked here, because he's trying to administer the game. The home fans, understandably, are just as wound up by proceedings, and you hear the boos ring out for Lucas Trajewski, as the physio now does walk with him over to the outer side, and Wollongong aren't going to take any risks. 11 versus 10 as they bring on Felipe D'Agostini. So in the number 7 shirt, D'Agostini comes on, and it's game over for Lucas Trajewski in the 87th minute. D'Agostini's going to join the defensive unit here for Wollongong. Now is the time where they batten down the hatches and hold on. They've got 11 behind the ball at the moment. Vlastelica, Tillo cuts it back inside. Vlastelica, lots of white shirts surrounding the ball, and they're able to clear. Vlasic laterally over to Koya Nakano. Rule at the edge of the box. Nakano tried for the return pass, and in the traffic, Sebastian Duarte didn't lose his marker there and was able to clear the ball. So Koya Nakano and now Vlastelica. This is the picture that Sydney United are looking at. A packed midfield now, and a defence that's sitting a lot deeper. Foul given against D'Agostini. Yamamura with a little bit of time wasting. And the ball is back live. And blocked away. Tillo. Wollongong players desperately trying to get goal side of him here. Gabriel Tillo to Mokiwada to Vlastelica. De Oliveira. Tillo. Well, it falls. Krislovic saved. It sits up on the line and twisting back into the box. The attack continues. De Oliveira. Oh, he misses the left-hand post. Nicholas Pratejina recycled the ball back to the top of the box, and Carlos De Oliveira put it across the face and out. Well, a big chance for Krislovic as well. And Daniel Solski's day in goal continues to keep the clean sheet intact. We are into the 89th minute. You feel like his work is far from done. There should be a decent chunk of stoppage raised by the fourth official in just a couple of minutes' time. Well, it was hand-on-head stuff there for Sydney United, though, as they weren't able to take the chances. Can Wollongong hold on? They remain in a 1-0 lead. Pratejina out to Rule. Numbers flood forward here for the home side. De Oliveira. Oh, his pass intercepted. Wada retrieves the ball. Vlasic. Vlastelica. Laterally over to Wada. Wada looking for the run of Nakano. Koya Nakano on a tight angle. Tillo. He'll keep the attack flowing. Vlastelica bends across. It loops up in the penalty area, and the offside flag is up. Duarte won a header on the ball, but players interfering in an offside position. 30 seconds of regulation time to go. The home crowd is a lit fuse at the moment. They want the outlet of emotion of cheering a goal, but Wollongong are doing everything to deny them. They want to send them home disappointed for the very first time this season. An unbeaten 11-game run in the league and 2 cup ties for Sydney United 58. 13 games in all competitions with 12 wins and just a solitary draw prior to today. The fourth official signals 4 more minutes for Wollongong to hold on and for Sydney United to keep chasing. Vlasic. Back to Pavlicic. Pavlicic, credit to Madden for giving him the hurry up. Beattie flew in midfield. Dylan Ryan, arms locked between the recent sub Mathy and Nakano, but no free kick, and it's going to be picked off and intercepted here. Felipe D'Agostini coming back the other way. Does he go to the corner? He goes to the sideline, and he might have attempted to win a corner there, but not enough backspin on the ball to take it out. Picked up by Pavlicic. And Sydney United will go direct up the middle. Only onto the head of Tate Russell, though. Brought down by King. King, Yamamura. I mean, it's the tension at the end of the game, but he's still a cool customer. But he's knocked off the ball this time. Vlastelica. De Oliveira. Look at Yamamura back up and sprinting, perhaps for the first time in the game. And he's able to win the ball and send it out to the left to D'Agostini. D'Agostini now cuts it to the edge of the box. Vlasic is there. Wada has got a clean run at the ball. Now he engages Beattie in a bump, and Beattie stands his ground. Tough stuff. And Marcus Beattie over to King, and he is making a beeline for the right corner here. Marcus Beattie to the shenanigans begin down in the corner. Not quite. Beattie goes to ground, and he gives away a free kick. But almost 2 of the 4 additional minutes have expired. McGing. Long ball. Krizlovic. Oh, he nearly made ground. Solski was just waiting in no man's land. Not on his line, not at the edge of the box. And it worked out perfectly for him. There's a player down for Wollongong. Solski's just booted it out onto the hill. And Dylan Ryan, he's down. He's on his haunches. The trainer hasn't been called yet. So are we going to be ticking well beyond the originally signalled 4 additional minutes? We've played 2.5 of them here. I think the referee will want to drop ball, and it'll be Daniel Solski's possession here. So, drop ball, live ball. Solski can't wait too long, otherwise the new FIFA rule could entitle the referee to give a corner. And so he doesn't push his luck. He just roosts it high and long. As the ball runs out on the sideline, Wollongong are slowing to a walk here. Anyone who hasn't already got a yellow card will be finding a way to take these throw-ins and take as long as they can. We're into the last minute of the originally allocated 4. Can Sydney United go end to end? Right now the ball is at Madden's feet. Madden against Rule, trying to get to the corner. 3 United players converge. Madden crashes in, and he gives away a free kick. So this is it. Can Sydney United roost the ball, or are they going to play it? They're going to play it and build up here. Vlastelica, the player they entrust. Now they go long. Players looking into the sun. Over the shoulder of Pratejina. And Duarte right there with him. Duarte goes to ground. The ball finds its way out. And it finds its way out for a Wollongong throw. Duarte is down, but he's outside the field of play. Wollongong again are going to... Look at this. Felipe D'Agostini has dragged Sebastian Duarte into the field of play. Well, the players know these games are filmed. I mean, we can see it for ourselves. Time-wasting tactics from the Wollongong Wolves to try and get this game to the finish line. The youngsters have run down to the fence to offer their 2 cents. And in the technical area, the 4th official is being quizzed as to how any of this can be allowed to continue unpoliced. The referee's trying his hardest out there, but the tensions are high at the end of the afternoon. All the Wollongong subs are lined up along the bench, standing. You feel like they're going to celebrate this almost like it's a cup final if they get up here. We've played 5 minutes and 15 seconds of stoppage time. Down the line, the throw-in goes. How much longer do United have? Do they have one more forward thrust in them? Cleared again. Nakano challenging. And he wins a free kick. And instead of taking it quickly, yellow card shown here to Felipe D'Agostini. Cost of doing business. They're going to commit the numbers forward, not the goalkeeper, but they do have 9 up the pitch. Here's Tomoki Wada. Drops it in the penalty area. First header from Tate Russell. Cleared away for Wollongong. Whistle not in the mouth just yet. Pavlicic comes out. Drives it long with a left-footed ball. And it is headed away by D'Agostini from the edge of the area. Referee looks at the watch. And the last unbeaten team in 2026 has been toppled.
Full time here at
Sydney United's undefeated streak of 11 games is over at hurdle number 12. And the Wollongong Wolves continue to march up the table. And this big credibility test for the Wolves and Luke Wiltshire, they have passed it. An early goal, at times utterly desperate defence, and then they managed the clock to the end and got to the finish line. One was enough. Lockie Scott with a header for the only goal, and Sydney United are defeated for the first time this NPL men's season. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. My name's Teo Pellizzeri. Thank you for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. The full-time score, Sydney United 58-0, Wollongong Wolves 1.